choosing for others. Sleazy life, we be such a mess. Forget the guess, we are not playing chess. Ones and zeros, guessing our moves, stocking shelves, wearing in grooves, like tracing a path, all for their math. Trust in yourself, fall for manipulation. Put that on the shelf, that deception gives you nothing, leaves you wanting. Grift is prediction, the result is control. When is it manipulation for which we fall? Hands in pockets, we have to stop it. The illusion of prophecy is only for profit, a means of money mancy, wearing you like a mitt, their hand in your wallet. Don't fall for it. Live illusion of prophecy is only for profit, a means of money mancy, wearing you like a mitt, their hand in your wallet. Don't fall for it. Living for you, making your own choices, for sure and true. The rest is just noises, signs of control, billboards of trolls. Here we go! Kicked around, there is no doubt, yet here I stand, that is the plan. Life can suck you to the floor, you get back up, you can take more than you know, just stick to the flow. When it hits, it can be the pits, just take a step back, give it another whack, it's all you can do to stay true. Say it ain't so. I ain't down, I ain't out, I've been kicked around, there is no doubt, yet here I stand, that is the plan. Don't go quietly, that night may be dark, the dawn is mighty, it gives you a spark. Let the fires build, with new light filled, you bounce back, plan your moves, begin another track, find your grooves, it's all you can do to stay true. Back to the grind, I ain't down, I ain't out, I've been kicked around, there is no doubt, yet here I stand, that is the plan. Well, when they bat you around, make sure you're abound. If you don't, they may win, then it just mounts. Find a new spin, start with a grin. You may not feel, throw the frown in the bin. Find your steel, heavy is the face that tries to keep pace. Let them know, I ain't down, I ain't down, I ain't out, I ain't out. I've been kicked around, there is no doubt, there is no doubt. Yet here I stand, that is the plan. That here I stand, give it your all.
Welcome in, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I know we just saw each other not that long ago, and, well, here's for a little different pace. So tonight I want to talk a little bit more about what I started last night. But don't worry, you don't need to have watched the last episode to know what's going on this time. This is just more expanding on the theme. But you don't really need to know what everything was before. But either way, tonight we return to the Museum of the Obsolescence, Part 2, The Digital Attic. And, well, let's start off with fear. And, well, the most terrified people are doing to our world and how it affects us and why it doesn't really matter. And in fact, just give them what they want. I know that sounds stupid. Trust me, I understand. So last night, we talked about the machine, the algorithmic loop that keeps us rewatching the same basic shows. Not the same shows over and over again, but it's the same plot line, repeated. But it's easy to say the algorithm is too smart, the feed is too addictive, and we're all just too lazy. But we're the ones that built the code. So why does the code only feed us what the human psychology craves? Well, because we built it. But why are we so eager to succumb to this problem? And when people talk about nostalgia, the standard answer is usually, well, pretty soft. They say we're looking for comfort or trying to strip away the fast-paced world and just kind of slow down and go back to, when times were simpler. And sure, that's part of it. I just really don't think that we're only running from our busy lives. I think we're reacting to a fundamental shift in how human existence is not just being recorded, but in how it's being interacted with. The human experience has fundamentally changed. And I don't think we were mentally ready for it, because 2020 started something and hit us a lot faster than it should have. Like we switched over faster than we were ready for. And, when I was a kid, if you went out in the neighborhood, someone was almost always watching. And right now we complain about cameras being everywhere and everybody watching. But there's a difference. Or not everybody watching, but all the cameras watching. There's a difference to it. So there was always a cranky neighbor looking out their front window, or some parent down the street telling you to knock it off. Whatever, if you were doing something wrong. And you stepped out of line, they yelled at you. And they told you to watch out for yourself. It was handled immediately and almost instantly forgotten. Which, is absolutely human. It's what we do. The neighbor was a person that had context. What's up, Greenie? Your chai was a bad idea and you're wired on a caffeine rush. Well, good. We've got things to talk about. We're continuing the conversation last night about how we're so eager to succumb to this nostalgia bait. Why it's so comfortable, and why we might be being pushed towards it. So, when I was a kid growing up, you bike around your neighborhood, you play around your neighborhood, someone was almost always watching. Cranky neighbor telling you to leave them alone or get off their lawn, or it was just some parent down the block. Somebody was there noticing when you got out of line. But they handled it right there. Passive cameras, well, they're passive. They're watching, but they're not telling you. They're not interacting with you. And the difference is the neighbor saw you as a person. They had context. They knew your parents. They knew you were just being an idiot kid. And most importantly, all of that judgment, all of that correction was delivered in real time. Once the scolding was over, it was pretty much done. It vanished. I mean, by the next week, nobody really remembered it unless you did the exact same thing again, unless you gave them a reason to remember it. Now we've swapped that cranky neighbor for a passive, silent lens that's connected to an infinite database. It doesn't yell at you at all. It doesn't tell you to move along. It just sits there, logging, oppressively and passively just watching. It records that you were in the park, how long, who was standing near you. It captures everything, but has no context, no understanding, and no expiration. There's no empathy to what you were doing. And this is the real life of modern technology. We're told we're afraid of smart machines. We're told we're paranoid Luddites who panic when a camera goes up or when a new system is deployed. But that's not what we're really terrified. Someone was always watching, so we aren't afraid of the tech itself. We're afraid of the uneven enforcement that has been made possible by this technology. You look closer at the people running the systems, and it's not masterminds. Well, frankly, it's the behavior of a very deeply ingrained frantic anxiety. It is the behavior of a hoarder. And hoarding is a sickness born out of fear. A hoarder stacks newspapers up to the ceiling, fills every hallway with broken, useless junk, because they're terrified of losing control. They're terrified of a future when they don't have enough, so they keep everything. And, well, that's these data centers. These tech companies and institutions, they're locked in a paranoid arms race. They're in the throes of their own sickness. They're terrified of losing ground to a competitor who's just as terrified of losing ground to a competitor. You see how cyclical it is? They're terrified of the uncertain market, of losing their grip, of everything, not just what's happening now, but of their own lives. So they deal with that terror by controlling yours. They absorb your daily texts, your location pins, your mundane throwaway moments without really grading or clearing the data. It's not valuable today, but it's because they want the leverage for tomorrow. And that's why the judgment never happens in real time. If these machines can watch you do these things and judge it, they can deliver that judgment in real time. They can tell you knock it off. But that's not what they want. They want to be able to hold that over your head to reassert their dominance, I guess. The cranky neighbor yelled at you on the spot. They just wanted you off their lawn. But this held information is a sinister form of control. By banking your data, storing it, and holding it in reserve, they get to choose the moment to pull it out. When is the best, most opportune time when it hurts the most to reassert their dominance over you. Now, hoarding also invites pests, mold, rats, bugs, and we experience those pests as automated mistakes. Facial recognition software misidentifies a face. Joker speech right there. I hope not. I hope this isn't just some madman thing, because I think this is a solution. I think this is the ultimate endpoint. So, facial, we experience those pests. Yeah, when best to pull it out? When it hurts the most. Yes. So, when we're experiencing these automated mistakes, the facial recognition software, the license plate readers, the algorithmic flags, and suddenly you have a Kafka-esque knock at the door, the secret police, or your bank account's been locked. Not because a human used their eyes and made a judgment, but because an automated machine misread a piece of your digital trash from 3 years ago. The burden of proof is immediately flipped onto you to prove the machine wrong. And when a system holds a permanent, contextless record of everything every citizen does, nobody is completely clean. Nobody. I don't care who you are. Somebody, you've done something that you wouldn't have even thought as being wrong or even realized that there was a law against it. That's what I mean by nobody's clean and that everyone's technically guilty. Yeah, someone's in violation of some arbitrary metric buried deep in a server. When everyone is technically guilty, the rules stop being a guardrail. They become a tool. They are used selectively, and whenever someone in power decides to dig through the junk pile to find a rock to throw at you. And so when you step back and look at the whole picture, the algorithms, the passive lenses, the server farms, the packed and hoarded fucking data, who's actually running the show? Well, we like to paint these CEOs as cold, omnipotent masterminds sitting in their glass towers. But honestly, we need to hold them in our minds as what they actually are. Frightened children. We should view them with a degree of empathy, sure, but more importantly, with extreme caution and an urgent need for correction. Because at the end of the day, they completely failed at what they set out to do. They wanted to control their circumstances. They wanted to build a fortress where nothing could touch them. But in this attempt, this attempt to eliminate their own vulnerability, they created a world where nobody, and least of all them, has any form of control. They created a problem in a desperate search of solution. And now that problem has grown so massive, so unwieldy, we can't sweep it under the rug anymore, no matter how big of a rug they have to pull. But that's the trap. They can't stop. They cannot stop it. Too many lives are tied to this machine now. Global economy is tethered to data centers. The construction company down the road, they're leaning into the next build. That's where they're getting their money. Entire municipal utility grids, power plants, water systems are tied to the demands of the server farms. We're almost to the point where we need them. Not the server farms themselves, but we need that money that they keep putting into the system. The absurdity is that in their secret hearts, they know this. But it's gonna contract. And they know that too. There is no world where this expands forever. And they really do know this. They know that this can't go on forever. In fact, we're already seeing the cracks. We're already seeing data center projects get shut down, get canceled, get slowed down. We're seeing communities waking up and forcing these companies to pay for what they've already taken. Water, land, power. And worst of all, for them, half of the mega data centers that they're building today in 5 years are going to be obsolete. We've covered that. The technology will move on and they'll be left behind these giant, empty, concrete husks. And the executives know the cliff is coming. So why do they keep digging? Because they need to be in a position where they're too big to fail. They aren't building the empire out of confidence. They're building it out of complete fear. They're building a cushion out of this hostage-taking mentality they have done. They're weaving themselves into this fragile data infrastructure, and they're weaving it into the very bedrock of our basic utilities, our municipal budgets, our daily lives. They are trying to guarantee that when their house of cards finally contracts, society will have no choice but to break their fall. We've seen this once already. That's what happened in 2008 with the banks. The worst business decision, the worst American financial duty decision we ever made was proving that corporations were too big to fail. That's what created this world we have today. That's what gave BlackRock the money to invest the way they have into our very infrastructure of our society, to fund these data centers. It was a housing market crash. But that's why we're retreating into nostalgia. That's why we crave the past. It's not just that we miss the old shows or simpler times. Deep down, we sense the fragility of a world built by toddlers playing with industrial machinery. We don't miss the retro aesthetics. We miss living in a world that was human scale. Consequences where society knew how to clean its room and where people judged us by looking us in the eye instead of calculating our risk scores from their digital attic. We aren't afraid of the future. We're tired of living inside the clutter. We need to stop letting the scared kids hold the keys to the grid. But how do we do that? Well, there is an iconic scene in Ang Lee's The Hulk. The villain, he's trying to siphon Hulk's energy. And Hulk realizes something. His enemy can't take it. So he delivers what I think is one of the most iconic lines. A line I still think about to this day. You want it? Take it all. And his enemy responds at first favorably, happy that he's finally getting what he wants. Yes, yes. And then he realizes it's too much. Take it back. It's too much. As it literally destroys him. And this is what we need to do to the data centers. I don't care how powerful you think they are, how advanced you think they are. Humanity right now is creating more in a day of information than all of human history prior to the internet age. If I remember right, that's pretty close, or maybe it's each a month or whatever. We are creating so much data that, well, we can create the static. Remember last night when I told you about the layered electromagnetic signals? And they're layering over and over and over and over each other? That is what's happening now. The secret is that the LLMs are not designed to take all that in. That is why they're making mistakes. That is why they break down. That is why they hallucinate. With no curation in the knowledge base, there is no guardrails on what is good info and what is bad info. We are poisoning the whale of data with our very own data. If they have it all, it becomes meaningless. I know they don't tell you that, but I really think about all the people we have in this world. What could possibly sift through all of that and make anything out of it? It's just a deep, scary wood of unfiltered thoughts and feelings, crimes, and just innocent play. What machines could possibly make anything out of that? Remember, they don't have heart. They don't have feeling. They're rather intelligent, but they're not super intelligent. They don't have empathy. They don't have a knowledge of what's real and what's not. You know, I mean, think about it. Me and my buddies, we play tabletop role-playing games through Discord because we've kind of moved out and separated. So it's easier just to get on Discord and play. How is the machine going to be able to tell the reality of the stories we're telling each other versus an actual conversation when it's blended in and out of the game? You know, we'll start playing the game and then somebody will think about something they want to talk about. And then we sit there and talk about that for a little while and then go back to the game. There's really no conscious pattern to it. It's just there. So what do you do? As a computer, how do you judge what's good, what's bad? What's real, what's fake? You don't, because you have no human experience. They were created by humans, but they're not human. They were designed to try and make information from human information. Sorry, they were designed to make a pattern from human information. And we know how good humans are at keeping a pattern, at adhering to a schedule, at adhering to a specific rote set of things to do. We do it for a while, and then we just don't. We break the system every stinking day. You know, not only that, but as we become more familiar with these machines, more understanding of how they work, we can break them even easier unintentionally, because we will grow to take them for granted. We will hold them in contempt because they're just little machines. We'll have a better understanding of their limitations, and they have a lot. I mean, if you don't give exact orders, if you don't give exact information, they don't know what to do with it. And we think that somebody like Palantir, Axon, Microsoft, Google, whoever is smart enough to make, I mean, you see what we deal with. You really think these machines are smart enough? How many times has flock cameras screwed up and misread a number or a digit or a person's face? How many times before that information, I mean, how many people's faces, we all know we have doppelgangers out there. Close enough anyway. The computer's never going to be able to ascertain when we can't. So why are we so paranoid? Why are we so worried that we curl up into nostalgia? Why are we so afraid that we have to go back to a time that didn't really exist? Because we think they're better than we are. We think they're smarter than we are. But they're just humans. And humans created the code for the LLMs. They're just large language models. They are not artificial intelligence. I don't care who keeps saying that. I use artificial intelligence or AI as a shorthand. But they're not intelligent. They're wholly artificial, which means that they're wholly alien to our way of thought, our way of doing things. So all you're going to see, the more information they have, the more mistakes they're going to make. To the point where it's going to be useless. It's going to be broken because it can't do it. These computer systems are good at some very few things. Your doppelganger's in Oregon shucking clams. All right. So, I mean, I get it. Fear the flock cameras for now. But as they put more and more of those up, they don't have the infrastructure to really take care of that data. Let's be honest. They're fooling themselves. They're fooling their investors. I mean, listen to them talk. I mean, watch any one of these CEOs. They're terrified. Look at the decisions they're making. I mean, Palantir, Peter Thiel, and the other guy that disturbs me, and I can't remember his name right now. You think I'd remember his name. But the two CEOs of Palantir, every time they're in an interview, I mean, Peter Thiel just glistens with sweat. He is always so nervous in public speaking. He is absolutely terrified. His other buddy is just as terrified, but he's one of those that deflects it. He says crazy stuff so people won't notice. But he's terrified. You look at Elon Musk. I mean, he stutters all the time when he's in an interview. And while he knows and he's smart, when somebody stutters like that, they know that they have to school themselves so that they don't tell the truth. They're making sure that their story is correct. They're not second guessing. Or, well, they're spending that time second guessing themselves. That's what's going on. So next time you watch Elon Musk, next time you watch any of these CEOs, I mean, even computer companies, look back on Bill Gates. He knew his company wasn't going to be the head of the company for long. You look back in the early 2000s when he was still taking interviews, and just look at how nervous he is. And you suddenly realize they want everyone to think that they have it all in hand. We're all good. We've got it all under control. When they're just like us at our jobs. How do I do this with the minimal amount of effort?
Years ago I stopped aging.
That's it.
That was when I started to learn.
You know, I mean, it's crazy to sit there and think about it. It's crazy to realize that all these people that have propped up our world right now. Oh, Jensen Huang, watch him. Or Huang, how do I say, I don't know how to say his last name, but NVIDIA's CEO. Watch him in interviews. He's terrified as well. If you know what to look for, you realize just how much they are on shaky ground. And I don't think the average person really gets it. I don't think the average person really understands that these guys are terrified because they see what's coming. And a lot of people, conspiracy theorists, love to interpret it that, oh, they know what the reality of AI. And it's like, yeah, they do, but it's not what you think. It's not some terrifying Skynet. It's like trying to use Google Maps before GPS was invented. Google Maps didn't exist before GPS. But if you did try to use Google Maps before GPS, it would be ultimately useless. And that's what we're seeing, is they're terrified because they know what they're selling the world is a garbage piece of goods. They're selling you broken junk. That's why, you know, I try to make a clarification. LLM, large language models, which often are called AI, is not truly AI. It's pretty good at predicting the next line in a sentence. But they're not alive, they're not aware. They don't even understand what those things mean. Eventually they might get there, but not with the kind of programming they're doing now. We don't have computer systems that are complex enough to mimic intelligence. You know, we've still got years left. And right now, the best thing we can do to poison the well, to really mess with these people, is stop fighting them. Start giving them what they want by the truckload, because it'll make their LLMs implode. It will destroy their systems. It'll break it all down. I know that people are worried, but I think if we can make it through the next 5 to 10 years, all of those big data centers that were built up, they're going to be useless, and they're going to have to find a use for them. And if we don't get off our asses and start making housing, guess what they're going to be? They're going to be quite literally block housing. Housing's going to get cheaper. I think that's actually why they keep building them. Instead of in the middle of nowhere, they're almost always built on the edge of a town that's a small town, but near a big town. So that basically when they have to implode those things and turn them into condos or townhomes or apartments or whatnot, some form of block housing, they have a ready supply of people to buy or rent. It's the only reason why I can think of why they built them the way they do. Yes, I have heard about those, and it is absolute bullshit. Like, why do you have all of those if you're not willing to use them? You know, I mean, and see, that's the thing is that we see these companies making these very greedy decisions, but we don't understand that they don't know what to do with it either. I mean, it's a simple matter to think of, well, why don't you just let them be used? You can make money off of your employees as company housing, except for there's rules on company housing, which are slightly different than landlord rules, if I remember correctly. So they'd be better off just renting them to people. But, you know, I digress. You know, the simple fact is that the world doesn't understand. The average person doesn't understand how much these CEOs are running scared. And I really wish we would. And it's weird to me because there's some really good info that people don't even understand exists. Like you with the abandoned apartments that Amazon chooses to keep. There's a lot of abandoned properties that I really think the government, city, state, whatever government, you know, actually has jurisdiction, needs to either make some rules up or enforce some rules that are already there to push people to use that which what they have. It's like landlords. I don't have a problem with landlords in and of themselves. You're always going to need them. What I have problems with is the people that have vacation homes. A second, third home. Why? You're literally paying for something, artificially inflating prices of housing by keeping a secondary house. And it's not doing you any good. It's not doing them any good. It's like, oh, so you can vacation on Christmas in the Swiss Alps, but the rest of the year it lies empty. Or it's like Airbnbs. I really do not understand how people can even think about using those. I don't get it at all. Motels are better. And you're also not keeping housing from somebody that could really use it. Airbnbs are probably the most parasitic thing I've ever seen. I refuse to use them because they're not cheaper, they're not better, and they're damn sure going to break housing prices even further. Like, think about it. Somebody realizes that instead of renting a house to somebody, they can charge $100, $200 a night. Well, at $150, $200 a night, the rent on that by month, if you can get it 100% rented per month, which I understand is probably pretty rare, but $200 a night for an Airbnb. Average month, 30 days. I'm rounding up. 200 times 30. That's $6,000 in rent a month. Like, you put that in perspective, is it really worth it? What are you paying for? At least in a motel, you get, there are rules on a motel. They have to clean the place. They have to have running water. They have to have, there's all these things in place and all of these agencies that keep them from being exploited. It's the same reason why back in the day, nobody listened to me back then, but I hope they listen to me now, why I hate Uber. It destroyed cab services. And they actually did it illegally. They weren't supposed to be able to be what they are today. Almost every city had a reasonable taxi cab service. Almost every city of any size. Well, it's not the squatter problems. A B&B is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an Airbnb. You know, the stupid app where people charge you, you know, it's like, oh, it's only $100 a night, but a $3,000 cleaning fee. You know, all the predatory problems that happen with Airbnb. A bed and breakfast, totally different. Airbnb, predatory program that people should not use. You might as well, you should just, you know, and here's a little hint. A lot of motels say, like with you, Green Jeans, with doing LARPing. You and your buddies are going to be in an area, LARPing. You can get a bulk discount if everybody, you know, rents out one of the rooms in the place. You can literally get a bulk discount because there's so many people. Oh, wait, but Airbnb broke that. I mean, what was it, Coachella? Where Airbnbs were canceling, you know, on people and charging $3,000 a night. That's why I call Airbnb predatory, because that's what they did. It's not squatter problems you have to worry about. It's getting money for something that you don't actually deserve. Asking money because the market can handle it. Yeah, but what does it cost you to actually maintain it? How predatory are you going to be in what you want? Just because, oh, this place has these things, you know, I can charge more. It's like, well, no, if you charge less, you're forcing them down, and everybody wins because more people are going to want you. You know, we need to upend the idea of how we look at supply and demand. Everybody down here, you know, right where I am, wants to be up here, not realizing that what it took to get up there was a sociopath, was a person that doesn't care about the reality of the situations, that they're literally stealing from people. Not literally, but figuratively stealing from people. Because it's not that everything costs them more, you know, just because there's more people. It's not this, it's not that. It's because the market can handle it. Because, oh, there's sudden demand. It's like, yeah, an induced demand. You force that demand. Think back to when Apple was first, you know, making the iPhones. It's like, oh, you know, get them quick. They're limited supply. Yeah, 3 million units is technically a limited supply, but you have more than enough for the people that actually want your product. But yet it got people to line up because we didn't pay attention. It's one of the reasons why I consider Apple to be one of my ban list, why I won't use them. Because of those habits, because of what they do, because of how they treat their customers. And that's the same thing with pretty much everything now. It's why I switched to friggin' Linux. Yeah, there's a little bit of a headache here and there, but at least I don't get updates that break my whole system to where I just have to reload Windows or programs that I just can't use anymore because Windows has made it basically non-functional. To me, I don't understand how people miss it. How do people not see the predatory nature of what is happening to them? How do they not just avoid it? I mean, Steam has all the power in the world to prey upon you, to literally suck the life out of you, dollar by dollar, penny by penny. I guess that's not actually valid anymore. Nickel by nickel. Yet, they don't. In fact, we get great deals through Steam with various sales here, there, and everywhere. Because of Steam, I don't know many people who still pay full price for anything they get. I mean, unless they're locked to a console, which, why? I mean, Nintendo's basically the only company right now that you can't buy on Steam some version of their game. And even if not, I mean, go over to Roblox and people will clone the game pretty quickly. I mean, Mecha Chameleon, within what, 2 days of it becoming popular? Barndominium? Or stick with a vintage manor style? I'm gonna say one thing. It really depends. Like, okay, you want to talk about that? That's fine. What's your market? Like who are you expecting to be there? Because a barndominium will bring a certain clientele, and a vintage manor, yeah, your demographic. Who are you trying to attract? Like, who are the people that you plan on using your service? Like, when you say feasting hall, that makes me think of like a Norse or a medieval type thing. So basically you want other LARPers like you. But when you say vintage manor, that brings up a whole different idea. Okay, so you need something that is modular to a certain degree, or at least modifiable. I would say barndominium then. Vintage manors, not going to work for that, especially for LARPers and airsoft. Because if you have the big feasting hall, the LARPers can actually game there. Airsoft, because it's a barndominium, normally you're going to have some acreage out there that you can put up a hay bale maze for the airsofters to shoot through. You know, to play in. You know, that's what I'd say, because the barndominium is much easier flipped. I mean, hell, you could do it with an old warehouse. Have all of the rooms on the second floor and have the base floor be whatever you need at the time. You know, a place for LARPers to play, a place for airsofters to shoot through, because then you could just modify it into being a, you know, maze with movable walls. It's entirely possible. I've literally done this. Right. So, barndominium or warehouse would be much more likely. Because a vintage manor, you're only going to get a certain set of LARPers, and you're not going to get the airsofters. Pure and simple. Airsoft isn't going to look at a vintage manor for airsofting at, because that's not where they're going to be looking. The other problem you're running into is where are you going to get this kind of building for what you're looking for? How are you going to attract people to it? Because you need to make most of your money at one season. You know, that's one of the reasons why motels and stuff cost so much in the microcosm, because you're paying for the downtime too, or the empty rooms. And me personally, with your skills, I would also set up cooking classes, or set up a away kitchen. Now, what I mean by that is like, say you have the barndominium. You invest in good cooking gear, and then you have, like, say between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the day, in the morning, afternoon, where people can come in and use the facilities to cook pre-cook their meals or prepare their meals for the week. You know, with your skills, you could help teach people how to do this, how to prepare their meals and how to prep their meals. Or you also offer catering, because I know you kind of do, or that's where you want to go to. You know, the B&B should only be portion. Okay. See, and that's perfect. Because then you could hold, you know, me personally, what I would do is I would kind of turn the, how do I put this? If you had enough land, I would turn the whole pumpkin patch maze on its head, and I would grow a Christmas tree farm in a maze style. So October, you have a haunted Christmas tree hedge maze type thing. Or not in Christmas time, but in October, in Halloween. You know, start in September, go all the way to October. Then in November, you start selling Christmas trees and chop down all your maize. Or a portion that's fully grown. That way, the maize would change over years. And the hard portion of the maize. Yes, exactly. I am a genius. And welcome in, EXO. You know, and then, you know, because trees don't, you know, a Christmas tree doesn't grow in 1 year. So you have this rotating where you cut down Christmas trees, you know, every few years or something. I don't know the actual schedule of it. You know, it rotates. So you have an easy and hard mode. You know, as the trees grow taller, the maze gets harder because you can't see over it. You know, easy mode is like, oh, that's the way to go. And you offer outs when you go on the extra area. How are you, EXO? Then, you know, you offer Christmas trees, like whether you want to sell them or, you know, offer them to whatever, you know, there's a whole, and dude, do you know how much money you would make off of being a filming location? You have a migraine, but you have something cold in your head? That sounds painful, and I don't think it's a migraine. That sounds like somebody jabbed an icicle in there. I know you've been odd. Sorry. If you remove the icicle, it might feel better. I'm sorry, I shouldn't tease you when you have a migraine. I apologize. The hamster is just eating a popsicle. Are you implying that Gossip has a hamster between her ears? That's what her brain functions on? Yeah, wow. Bro. I mean, you may not be wrong, but it's still not right. Oh, no, I mean, if anybody has a hamster running, I think that was the implication with it. I'm just rolling with the joke, and I shouldn't be. Oh, sorry. Being a butt. I'm just having fun, that's all. Don't hurt me. But, you know, you then during like the spring months, yeah, we're dreaming up Green Jeans' B&B. Hence the reason why we were talking about a Christmas tree maze. You know, instead of like a pumpkin maze or a cornfield maze. Instead of that, actually doing a Christmas tree maze so that when it comes around November, you can start cutting those down and selling the Christmas trees. And you would have an evolving maze. Well, yeah, because you could also decorate it however you want. You know, you start out with like a haunted maze and then it becomes like a holiday maze. And because you don't cut down all of the trees per year, the maze would evolve over time. So each year when you have to replant the certain sections, you change the maze. It's actually kind of a brilliant idea, and feel free to holidays. Yes, they would be wandering around in a holidays. But I think it'd be fun to play around with. You have that. During spring, you know, now you have the new little planted, which you'd have to, you know, make sure that you sequester off so people don't accidentally step on the new, you know, the new trees. And I'm sure we could figure out something for spring. You know, a Easter bunny maze. Oh, baby. Okay, yeah, you knew I was gonna try and pick you up. She knew I was gonna try and pick her up for show her off. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna take my 5. So see you soon.
Vacation that we'll ever know. Always with you. There's the highway. Always with you. There's the So I took the old man's words and drove back.
Ale, hydrate.
Left my truck, headed for the Bergs, never looked back. Loved the day, then a shine of blue. Bethany blue stayed true. I found myself.
I'm not the boss of you. Fucking get arrested. I don't care.
This car's got flow. Bethany blue, the upgrades fit she knows. Like she had the clues.
I'm the boss.
No two roads match, then my wife never came back. Found a car parked abandoned on the street. No signs of struggle, just an empty
You've been struck by a truck.
Couldn't believe my eyes. There was buildings around, the names seemed lies. Stopped the car, looked up and down. People waved and smiled. I waved back, but I was shocked. Shocked. Bethany Blue took me away. Had to wonder too, did Bethany Blue stay back there on the street? Was she parked so neat, waiting for our next victim? Thought the man was old, missing his wife. Didn't heed his words, drove Bethany Blue away. I didn't have a say, ended here in this town. Bethany Blue. Can I ever get back? Was there a trade? Was I played? Is she at home while I am left to roam? Is there some clue? Bethany Blue, Bethany Blue. Looked through the car, found a journal like me, left stranded afar from home. Hearts, Bethany Blue takes you away. Never go back, here you stay. Bethany Blue took me away. Had to wonder too, did Bethany Blue stay back there on the street, or was she parked so neat, waiting for her next victim?
And I'm back.
Took me
Just in time to be hit by a truck.
to wonder too, did Bethany Blue stay
Oh my. Oh no, it's gonna play everything that was sitting there.
next victim?
Or did it just... But anyway, I'm back. How are we doing? Hi, baby.
Drove that car every day, hoping to win my strife. Every
Um,
I pray, Bethany Blue, take me
what was I saying?
back, right through the light.
I don't remember what I was saying, but basically,
Home to stay, but
I think we need to think. Best advice I've ever given. I think we need to think.
some gear,
Just everybody start thinking. Just think, and then do. But yeah, I mean, your B&B, I mean, it's going to require money. See, that's the biggest problem. But I also may know somebody that might be able to provide you with basically farm to table, some exotic stuff. I have a buddy who has buddies in Astoria, Oregon, who are basically making an exotic like fruit tree area. And by exotic, I mean just not something you normally find. And I can't remember exactly what it is, but they also raise geese and turkeys. So, like, to give you an idea of how good they are, their son just this is his last year for doing yes, Christmas goose. Their son in his last year for 4-H raised a turkey. The turkey at auction went for $19 a pound, and it was a 25-ish pounds. Think about that for a second. That's one hell of an expensive turkey. So, you know, I'd say that the stuff is pretty good quality, and I've had one of their turkeys. Holy crap. Like, I mean, it's really good. And my buddy even did it in the old Victorian era style with persimmons and stuff like that. Like, it was a little sweeter than I'm used to, but it was actually really good.
Yes, little baby. Yes, can't neglect the kitty.
You know, and also the other one runs an outfitter and guide business. Or sorry, specifically fishing guide. And I guess buoy 10. Yes, natural proteins, natural stuff. Probably a lot of fish leavings, because he does a whole lot of fishing, you know, known as the River Wanderer. If you ever want to go on a fun fishing trip, this guy is really good, and he fishes a lot out of Buoy 10 Astoria, which apparently is like one of the 10 best places to fish across the world. People pay bunches of money. Yes, hi. Yep, stealing you. You jumped up. Haha. Kitty on the screen, people. If you're just listening, the majestic animal is on the screen. Look at that, babies. Look at that, babies. Oh, you saw the camera. You saw yourself. Oh, God. Oh, she is so fluffy. She is so fluffy. And it sucks because, like, her hair gets matted, like, right there. Like, you'll notice that I'm trying to scritch on her chest. I'm trying to loosen up some of that matting that she gets on her bib. But it grows so fast that by the time I can actually get to it, it just falls out because she's grown it so long. Like, the mats don't stay because it just grows out. Like, normally, when you have that problem with a cat, the matting just keeps going because the hairs are, I don't know, it's weird. I'll find the mats, you know, as they just fall out of her. So it's like, okay, I've tried keeping up on her, and I do a pretty good job. I mean, you can tell how fluffy she is. You know, obviously I do comb her. But there's certain parts of her that she won't let me get. But as soon as, you know, after a little while, it just goes away. And I think it's hilarious. So summers would be your slowest time at the B&B. I'm really thinking about that. Like, the summers would be your slowest time. And I think you could probably figure out things to do there to carry you over. Hell, I might even look at, because you like LARPers, you might want to see about hosting, okay, weddings. Are you really sure you want to deal with weddings? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't touch weddings unless they approach you, but I wouldn't really, like, put it out there for weddings. At least not in the first few years. Right. See, what I was going to suggest is maybe tabletop gaming. You know, because in the summer it's too hot. Well, like you said, you wanted to have that feast hall. So you have tabletop gaming, where you can host, you know, pay for a professional GM. Like, there are people out there that get paid to GM. You hire a professional GM, you know, basically set it all up to see how many people you can get to host a weekend of gaming. You know, and, you know, basically have an all-inclusive price. You know, food, drink, you know, you figure it up how much it's going to cost you so that people don't really have to, like, think about it. Like, everything's handled. You know, stuff's just going to be there for their gaming. And, you know, basically a full-service package for that. Dude, that would be, I'd pay for that. You know, and 1 or 2 weekends in a summer would probably pay for your summer. You know, because also remember, you know, like instead of on the weekends, which is where I'd hold the gaming campaigns, unless people, you know, reserve time otherwise, during the weeks during the summer, I would hold kind of like summer camp kids cookouts. You know, cook lessons. You know, maybe you can hire XO to assist you. Although remember, you'll have to pay her lawyer rate. Yeah, all right, fine. But I mean, you get my point. You know, you start planning activities, you start doing big things. And the only reason why I thought about the whole like gaming thing is because that was actually one of my stories. Abundance on standby. Yeah, ambulance on standby. Sorry, I misread that. I need some ambience. Oh. But, I mean, you get my point, Green Jeans. You know, it's like, you think big, but you also got to think about where the little things are going to make more money. You know, how do you attract a family? You know, husband, wife, kids, or, you know, sorry, a couple with their kids. Doesn't have to be husband and wife, you know, doesn't have to be traditional. That's not what I mean. You know, the other thing I would have is a animal friendly. You know, I mean, say like you're taking over a barn and turning it into, you know, like you said, a barn dominium Airbnb. Well, there's going to have old stables and stuff. You could actually turn some of that into like dog runs. Of course, no smoking indoors. Who smokes indoors anyway? I mean, I don't know if you guys know that, but you know, I am a smoker, but I smoke outside. I haven't smoked inside in ever. I don't like it. I don't like smoking inside. That's because I don't rub it in people's faces. It's not a part of who I am. It's something I do. Right, but cigar people and vapors, just no smoking inside. Pure and simple. Now, does that mean that I would have a gazebo outside for the smokers and the vapors? Yes. You know, you have a nice, you know, gazebo outside where people can sit off to the side of the rest of the place. And I would have it be a glassed gazebo, glassed in, with an air handler on top, with basically a purifier, so it's pulling that smoke up and out. It's literally pulling it out. And probably some minor filtration. You know, just enough to cut down on the cloud that you would get off of that. You know, stuff like that. You know, and I'd have that glassed-in gazebo off to a side somewhere, and then you have the open gazebo, you know, the normal type of gazebo for regular people to just sit and enjoy the weather, sit and enjoy sunsets, sunrises, you know. You know, that's just the things I think of. You know, and if you ever got the money, you know, basically turn it into like a Grange Hall type thing. But I would probably say that most of your money would be bought. You know, I'd also have like a low count restaurant where it doesn't have to be people that are at the B&B, but you have a section that's just straight up restaurant. And there I wouldn't do much fancy. I'd keep the menu fairly simple, low key, you know, nothing super fancy. Basically diner food, but not greasy spoon. But where I'd specialize is your sweets. Cakes, pies, desserts of some kind. You know, obviously seasonal. You know, so you have an excuse for having limited runs to get people, you know, through the door. You know, specialize in, you know, your unique flavors of things that you come up with. You know, get Ghost to share the mochi recipe. You know, I mean, that's the kind of things I would do. I would definitely try and get, yes, exactly, gossip. See, and I'd be trying to invent, you know, instead of like, you know, red velvet cake, I would invent something like a, you know, a different kind. You know, something that's unique, something that's fun.
Okay.
You know, or just unique flavors. Blood orange parfait. Oh. That sound. See? That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, Green Jeans. I mean, think about what you just put there, and, you know, start serving that towards the end of September or beginning of September. You know, and you're serving something like that along with actual Mexican hot chocolate or Hispanic hot chocolate while people go through the maze. Hell, I'd probably try and find a local potter to see if you can have, like, you know, custom made dishes. Nothing super fancy. Something that's easily done, but it's hand thrown. That elevates the experience for people. You know, again, you know, eventually. Like the terracotta outside, but glazed inside. I'm probably using the wrong, you know. Right. You know, and you just glaze like the inside, but it looks like something's spilling over. You know, all sorts of stuff you could sit there and play with. There is so much that is possible. The hard part is getting the money up and then getting people to go. You know, I mean, there is so many ways to make this work. But the problem is getting the money first. And you're going to want 5 years worth of money. I know that sounds, you know, way out there, but it's going to take 5 years on average for it to become profitable. Not saying that you wouldn't have the possibility, it's just how much you would have to take out in loans to get it started. Unless you win the lottery and just have the money, or, you know, tell you what, if I ever win the lottery, or if for some reason, you know, Twitch or YouTube makes me a millionaire, you got a silent investor, or a very vocal one if you want me to be. You know, I mean, I'll invest in that. I'll help you run it. You know, I've got contacts in certain places that could give a unique flair. Oddly enough. Like I said, my buddy that's in fishing guide. Or not my buddy, sorry. My buddy's buddy that is a fishing guide. You know, and his buddy that runs a farm orchard thing, you know, for unique fruits and stuff. I think there was like white strawberries, I think was also something he was doing. Sorry, the outfitter and guide and the gentleman farmer, they're a couple. Sorry, I keep forgetting to, you know, they're actually together. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff in that contact right there that is super amounts. You know, my other buddy is an excellent GM. In actuality, he was contacted for a possible job through D&D. But when they found out he wasn't really playing D&D very often anymore, they didn't give him the job. And that he focused mainly on second ed. Even though they were the ones that asked him about his input and to help make D&D better. Go figure. You know, taking it back actually all the way back to the classics and, you know, building forward probably would have been a better idea than what's been going on lately. Yeah. But, I mean, he was on the forums, he was talking with the people, so, I mean, they knew who he was, they knew what he was doing for all these times, but when HR, or whoever it was that was really trying to get, you know, more input on the new stuff, yeah. But yeah, I mean, hell, I'd even guest run games for people if they wanted to. I'm not saying I'd be good at it. I'm not even asking for pay. Just feed me and make sure I have a place to sleep. You know, I mean, special foods. Hell, if I can get in touch with Tater. I mean, you know Tater's got good skills. You know, plus, not just in the kitchen, but also in the special effects makeup if people want, you know, dress up for these events. You know, she's got the skills. Very much so. So, I mean, there's a whole lot that could be done with this little concept here. You know, it's just learning how to coordinate with the people you know. Yes, exactly. Or also, you know, as part of the all-inclusive, you could offer a bonus package to people that want to be a, you know, how do I put this? A bonus package for people who are wanting to play tabletop, to get into a little bit of cosplay while they're playing, you know, while they're there. Because I know some people like to dress up even though they're doing tabletop. They like to do a little LARPing. I'm a bit of a LARPer myself, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, there's so much that could be done. You know, I mean, that's the dream, is just being able to afford the initial setup, the initial get-go. You know, which is really sad because there was a dream place in Indiana that we were looking at. And by the time we had enough money to put the down payment on that property, it had already been bought. Which, on one hand, makes me really happy because I wasn't stuck there. On the other hand, makes me really sad because you had the house, and then you had like a 4,000 square foot building. That building used to be a church that had fallen on bad times, or they moved on because they grew too big for it. And this whole property used to be the old pastor's house or whatever, you know, the preacher's house, and then the church. But the church had been converted into basically a big open space. It still had the public bathroom, or not public, but you know, the set up like public bathrooms. You had a industrial kitchen. You had this stuff there. And I was thinking about making it into a event space for, you know, tabletop gaming, but on the walls also have it for old school LARP, or not LARP, LAN. You know, LAN groups. I mean, obviously, you know, there probably wasn't much market up in Indiana anyway. But it would have been something that, you know, definitely could have done. I'm honestly surprised at how quiet it is tonight. You know, I mean, you know, just surprising. Normally Wednesday nights are busier, and like last night was pretty dead, but Monday night was the busier one. Like, I'm absolutely confused. You know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I know people have stuff to do and stuff like that. Summon the gerbils. Well, no, that's not what I'm talking about. It's like, maybe I just had a little bit too much expectation because of what, you know, well, you never know if you don't try. Maybe I was just surprised by what Raven had pulled on his stream, which was, you know, even he was surprised at having so many people concurrently. You know, that was insane. You know, not in a bad way. Willow used the wand. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just got used to having more people, and now it seems like there's not as many people, and it feels weird. Makes me question. It's like, am I doing things right? Did I screw up? Am I not doing things right? Did I, you know, have I messed up somewhere? And I always get the second guess. I mean, you know, maybe it is just because I'm just chatting and people have an expectation of just chatting, but I'm legitimately just chatting, you know, no real agenda. I mean, I did my little agenda in the first like half hour, 45 minutes. You know, my little script. And, you know, sad to say, I don't think it really resonated with people. So I don't know. To be honest, I haven't touched it in a while. I really should sit down and write some more. To be honest, the last few weeks, it's weird. I felt like I wasn't really here. Like the last 2 weeks, like my brain just seemed to shut off. But now I'm like coming back. Like, I mean, like I'm just, I'll eventually finish the July music video. Yeah, that's real. Like July was just a blur. It seemed to go by, but not fast. It just seemed to go by. Like for me, it wasn't like, oh my God, July's already gone. It was just like, I don't even really remember what I did in July. Other than just do the same thing. Like my brain was just in this weird state. But yeah, over the last couple of days, I finished off Retro Perspective. It will go out on time on August 1st. So look at new songs. It's not all older songs. There's like two or three songs that haven't actually ever been released, but they are, like, one is literally the first song I ever made, but it never got released. And I did a lot more writing to it, made it work.
Golden plate washed next to me. I guess it was
Yes, kind of. And another one was made for the Neon Room. If you watch some of my videos that I did pre-record videos for that, and how, you know, the beginning was, did you ever wonder? Well, I did a, you know, retro perspective variant of that, which is just, you know, I basically patterned the whole thing like it was a video game. Music. So, you know, if you're into that new album coming out, I'm gonna try and finish up Chaos Entertains, which was July's video, or July's album, and just put it somewhere in August. Just throw it out, you know, catch back up. But I'm gonna start working on, you know, the spooky season music. I want to sit down and write. I've got too many projects in the air, and I'm worried that I might have to drop something. And right now, that something is probably the music of putting out an album every month. You know, and I know I keep slowing down on that, because before I used to put 3 songs out a week, you know, and then I just decided to do 12 songs a month. And now it might just end up being, when I have the inspiration for the songs, I put out the songs. You know, because I still love doing the music. I still love doing that. But with Twitch, it seems to be taking up more of my time of prepping, planning, and being ready to do certain things. So we'll see. You know, that's what's going on with me. You know, I'm just trying to expand, to get better, if that makes sense. And honestly, I don't know how to grow the channel from here. Because, I mean, like, yeah, I could join up other social media stuff, but what would I do? You know, I mean, one, I'm diametrically... Like, if somebody clips my channel and posts stuff on short form media, I'm not going to complain at them. But I'm not going to do it myself. And I know that sounds, like, weird. But I don't really like short form content. I don't even really understand it. Let me put it that way. I don't know what would be worthy to do that with in my stuff, if any of it. You know, and like with Twitter and stuff, I don't care. Sorry, jitter. I don't care enough about the whole content farm over there, because I don't understand it. It opens me up to being hacked much more than already. So I don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like I'm doing good work. I feel like I'm doing good. I feel like I'm doing the right things. But... You know, and I've gained 2 new followers this week, which, hell yeah. You know, I'm not complaining. But when they don't show back up, it feels more like out of pity than like they really wanted to. Like they didn't really know what they were here for. You know, I mean, I game with Mondays. I play video games with Ghost and Raven and Patience and Ghost. But most of my time that I do is talking and drawing. Because those are the ones that seem to be doing the most. And, I mean, especially the last 2 nights, it's been relatively slow. I'm not complaining about the people that are here. I'm enjoying talking. But it's really hard to, you know, like when I bring up the subjects, like the Museum of Obsolescence, and, you know, the sequel today, the Digital Attic, and how things are going in the world and how there are solutions to what's going on. But when people don't really respond and they're just here to listen, it's really hard to know if I reached anybody, if they even understood what I was saying. Or, you know, maybe it was just so purely logical that they had no real response because it made sense. You know, and I think that's kind of part of what I'm missing is just like a feedback. You know, am I doing, you know, I don't want people to feel obligated, but I want to write things and stuff like that that makes people ask questions and talk. Well, we all do. I mean, okay, I don't spend that much time on social media. Let me put it that way. Not only, but when I do, like what I've recently done with YouTube, I have creators that I watch. And when I run out of content to watch of theirs, you know, I look for something. Like lately, way too much political crap. It's boring. I'm so tired of it because all it's meant to do is make me mad. So I went back and I found somebody that talks comic books. You know, I used to be a comic book geek, you know, and then like 20 years ago, I stopped collecting and really paying attention. Well, this guy does deep lore dives into like 2-hour videos on the Ghost Riders. You know, and what they are and their power scaling and stuff like that. You know, just different things in comic book. Well, specifically Marvel. He's a Marvel guy. And he really knows his stuff. And he's really entertaining to watch. It's something that I think I'm better for it. You know, finding something with intent. And for me, it's kind of that nostalgia thing because I used to collect comics. You know, what I just called out, I know. But it's also going back over here to stuff I have no idea because there's 20-year gap that I didn't really pay attention to. I mean, that's how I ended up coming up with the Doom theory. Was watching some of his videos and realizing that in one of the leaked videos, leaked trailer that was at San Diego Comic-Con, Sue Storm says something like, you know, Doom used to be kind and this and that. And like, she's talking like he went through a big change. And that's where I came up with the theory, especially since he's mourning the loss of his wife and kid, where it's actually Tony Stark in the body of Doom, but with also Doom's memories mixed up with his own. You know, he got disembodied, consciousness, whatever, or however it works, because there was a storyline because I was watching about Marvel's 2099 line, and there was a line where Reed Richards and Dr. Doom got shunted into the far future in 2099. And because of the way it was done, their memories got jumbled. Reed Richards thought he was Doom. Doom knew he was Doom, but there was also other memories in his head that shouldn't have been Doom's. And it's just interesting when I'm looking at it that way. And then I look at that Doom's lamenting a wife and child. Well, Doom in the comics never had a wife and child, because he was always fixated on Sue Storm. Like, I mean, there's alternate universes where he was married to Sue, and it was Sue Von Doom. So the idea that Tony got shunted over here, you know, it makes sense in my head that Tony's trying to rebuild the life he knew because the world he's on isn't his. And sure, the Infinity Stones don't work, only work in their multiverse. But who's to say that the Mind Stone couldn't push his consciousness into another universe? And it bonded with the closest thing to it that was to him, which would have been Doom, which causes this whole jumble. If that makes any sense. And I know some of you don't care about the theory, but all I'm trying to say is that I started going on social media with an intent to find something, rather than seeing what it would feed me. Well, exactly. That's why it kind of makes me excited for Doomsday and going and watching it just to see if my theory is correct. Because it would be very much a Marvel thing to do, is to have a storyline that had already happened, and then see. And here's the thing, is that the rumors are that this is the Doom's origin, that this Doomsday and Secret Wars is Doom's origin story, which tells me, if that's true, this isn't Doom. This man calling himself Victor Von Doom is not the real Doom. If that makes any sense. This is someone else entirely. This is basically a homogenization or a blending of Tony Stark and Doom. You know, a Doomy Von Stark. But that's just my theory, and I'm very curious if I'm right. Because, again, I already said it, but hey, it's what they would do. You know, mix and match a storyline, but I think they did it right this time. Now, I still think that Doomsday's not going to make any money, but I think they know that. I think they're expecting the fans that are going to go watch it initially are going to encourage others to go watch it. Like, it's going to be a more of a cultural phenomenon, like not what people expect. I think all of the marketing says that, and I hope I'm right that this really is Doom's origin. Because, I mean, my God, Doom's origin is that he dropped out of college because Reed Richards embarrassed him. You know, the guy kept comparing himself to the best at one single thing. Doom quit being, working, on being a sorcerer because Doctor Strange showed up. So he left that. But he got just enough of both that the blend makes him an extremely unique person. I mean, this is a man that literally willed himself back to life after a cosmic being killed him. This is a man that talked down a god from killing him. There is more to Doom Because the reality is that Doom's not a traditional villain. You know, he is, in all classic sense, he is your classic villain. Yes, his training montage, hell yeah. Like, that's the thing is that's what's wrong with most of the movies is they try to treat him like a classic villain. But he's not actually. See, the thing is that he has all the motivations of a classic villain. I mean, this is a man that gave up his mom's soul to Mephisto so he could get more magical power than he already knew. And each year, he challenges Mephisto to a fight over his mother's soul. And he wants at one point to best Mephisto so he can at least get his mother's soul out of hell. Like, that's just a small nod to who he is. He's arrogant. He's, you know, super arrogant, but he's also right most of the time. Like, that's the bad thing is that the reality is that he's right most of the time. You know, in everything he wants to do, in why he wants to take over the world is because he believes he would run it better than anybody else. And if you look at how he runs his country, his people absolutely love him. Yeah, they're ruled with an iron fist. But his rules aren't burdensome. It's not like he's... Well, there's a line. What is it? Matrons and monarchs share one simple bond, and that is to care for their people. And that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand about Doom, is that he truly loves his people. And if he makes you one of his people, you are under his protection. And just by saying you're under Doom's protection is enough to get whole governments to back off. You know, whole villain and hero organizations to go, okay. Not because he's known to protect people of bad caliber, but because he's known to be that much of a protector of his people. You know, and that's what made God Emperor of Doom, such a big deal. In the comics, Doom gets control of something just as powerful-ish as the Infinity Stones, known as a Cosmic Cube. And he uses that to build Battle World, what he considers the most perfect place. And in all intents purposes, he actually had it very well balanced. He actually did try to take care of the people. I mean, there's an iconic scene of how he did what he did and what all he was doing, where he literally reached in, grabbed Thanos' spine, ripped it out, and killed him. Killed Thanos permanently. In his world, Thanos didn't exist. He killed him. That's how powerful Doom can be when he wants to be. Yeah. Right now in the comics, Doom's actually the new Sorcerer Supreme. He's literally taken over for Strange. Oh, and his goddaughter is in challenge to be one of his heirs, which is, depending on at what time in her life, she's either Valeria Richards or Valeria Von Doom. Either way, he named her. Convoluted storyline, absolutely love it. Go to Source Superhero, look up Valeria Richards' origin, and it's a wonderful video. Oh, Doom is absolutely one of my most favorite characters. He is not just a traditional villain. He wants to take over the world, not just for megalomania, but he's megalomaniacal, you know, in his belief that he is the best person for the job. I mean, I literally have a superhero or supervillain character that I created based on Doctor Doom. And because of the balances of powers that I took that were similar to Doom. Super science, super sorcery. Yeah, I broke the GM. I didn't even intend to. I was just trying to make an accurate representation of Doom, which was super science and super sorcery. That's the only two powers I took. But those two powers can mimic pretty much any other power, as long as I have enough time and effort to build it on the super science side, or enough of my magic pool to try it on the magic side. It's hilarious. But yeah, Doctor Doom is absolutely... I mean, sure, in his origins, he's probably your classic villain. He was made just to, rival Richards. But there are times when, there's whole storylines where they realize just how benevolent he can be. Where he learns from his mistakes. Where he... Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, and that's the thing is that Doom never admits he's wrong until he is defeated. Like, there's literally a joke among comic book buffs that no one defeats Doom but Doom. His plans are almost always so perfect that if he hadn't just gotten his own way, like, he will get in his own way and trip over his own feet because of his arrogance, because of his belief that he is not wrong, that he can't be fallible. That's what makes him lose. That's where he screws up. It's just like how he lost Battleworld. Because he needed some people to gloat over what he did and how he created a whole new, multiverse and turned it into, or how he took the whole multiverse and turned it into one world. So he didn't wipe certain people's memories just so he could gloat at them. Those were the very enemies that defeated him. Because he has to have the gloat. He has to have the people to, it's that sociopath desire. You have to have the recognition. People have to know what you did. And the funny thing is that his being a godfather to Valeria so far has started to soften him. I mean, to be honest, he's been the infamous Iron Man. That was actually Victor Von Doom. And Iron Man became Doom. I think it was like the indestructible... or the invincible Doom or something like that, and then you had the nefarious or infamous Iron Man. I can't remember exactly, but there was a time when they kind of switched places. Or it's two stories where Doom took over for Tony and Tony has taken over for Doom at times. Yeah, in canon, he has only apologized 3 times. Twice to Valeria. And I think one of those times was literally just apologizing for using a bad word in front of her. Because she's still only like between 7 and 12, somewhere in that neighborhood. Oh, and she's super smart. Like, that's her only power. Is literally the idea is that she will eventually be, as she grows up, matures, she will be the smartest person in the in the Marvel Universe. Oh, damn. See, I didn't even know she existed. What I didn't realize is that it was a continuation of a story I had read something like 20 years when Sue Storm got pregnant and had a miscarriage, lost the baby, you know, and that really sucked. Like, I mean, they didn't make light of it. It was a big deal in the comics because for 13 issues, she was pregnant. Like, this was like a real world time scale of a pregnancy. For those of you that don't know, 13 issues is literally 13 months in comic time at that time. Or in real time at that time. That was once a month. And then have it at the end of that she had a miscarriage and lost the baby. That Reed Richards couldn't figure out how to save the child. You know, not only that, but he was asking for help. You know, he asked all the smartest people to try and help him save his wife. He just didn't ask Doom. So in 20 years down the road, apparently Johnny Storm asked, you know, they changed the storyline up and Reed was missing. And so somebody, you know, which was just enough to change the story, that Doom was asked. And between science and magic, he saved Valeria. So Valeria was born. Hey. Yeah, I mean, it was insane because you didn't expect it. And, you know, because I stopped, you know, reading comics, collecting comics 20 years ago, I had never known that that's who Valeria was. I thought they just got pregnant again and she had a different child. But that was the whole reason why they never had another child after that, was because of the miscarriage was so traumatic that part of that trauma, part of what did that, turned Sue Storm into a villain called Malice for a time. But yeah, I do love the line that I heard in the trailer for Doomsday. Oh yeah. When Doom has beef, it's with you. He's not petty. I mean, he's petty, but it's only you he has beef with. But also, you know, Doom, there's a line in the trailer, the new trailer, which I can't wait for that one to actually release so I can sit and watch it. But this is the feeling of Doom. I think it's Thor that tells Doom, I'm going to send you to hell. And Doom says, hell, I do not fear hell, for I am, or no, hell answers to me, for I am Doom. And a lot of people, you know, that sounds edgelord bullshit. The problem is that Doom can back this shit up. He, like I said, he literally has a standing fight once a year with Mephisto for, you know, a contest for his mother's soul. Like, he's been doing this every year just to get his mother's soul back. So Doom is absolutely fascinating, which is why originally I wasn't very excited for Doomsday, because it felt so cheap. It felt so like they weren't giving Doom his due. But if my theory's correct, this isn't Doom, but this is the beginning of Doom. And that makes me excited. Like, I'm willing to break my Marvel Disney boycott to watch Doom on the screen. That's how much I love Doom. Not because I think he's somebody to admire, but he's a brilliant character. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here for tonight, guys. I hope you had fun. I hope to see you here tomorrow night where I do some more drawing. See you guys later. Good night. 1v1 Hulk outsmarted Wakanda, made Captain America doubt himself, and beat Stark and Reed in a debate. Yep, all of that is true. Which shows you how brutal he is. But anyway, you guys have fun. Have a good night. And I'll talk with you all later.
Life is weight, life is flame, life gives pleasure, life gives pain. You can carry what your hand is or decide what gets your name.